When you say yes when you mean no, you're abandoning yourself. That is you saying that others matters more than you. And your exhaustion, your resentment, your feeling of being drained, it's all information telling you that your boundaries are broken. Is that what the respect value you want to teach yourself and those around you? Hi, I'm Annette, and for 25 years I've been working with women who are exhausted from living for everyone else. They think boundaries are selfish, or they haven't even questioned it because they're not aware, just feeling overwhelmed. And with every topic I ever talk about, I have been there, felt the pit hole, the drowning, no oxygen, a body in pain and not understanding why. That's why my passion is heartfelt. I don't want you to have to go the same path, where the other one is so much more joyful and creative. You might think saying no makes you a bad person. Often you've been taught that your worth comes from how much you give, how much you sacrifice, how much you shrink yourself to make others comfortable. But here's the truth. Without healthy boundaries, you can't create your ideal life. You can't master your life. You can't be free and pursue your dreams and being too busy pleasing everyone else and trying to be a bleak blueprint of everyone else. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why your boundaries matter, how to identify where yours are broken, and most importantly, how to create boundaries that give you the freedom to shine without guilt. This isn't about becoming cold and distant. It's about daring to choose yourself so you can show up as the unique woman you are for the people who truly matter. So get comfortable and let's talk about what boundaries really is. First, let's reframe your mindset about boundaries, what boundaries actually are. Most people think there are walls you build to keep people out. They think boundaries make you selfish, rigid, or mean. But that's information based on an illusion, based on fear. That's what people who benefited from your lack of boundaries told you. Here's the truth. Boundaries aren't walls. They're your unique blueprint for how you want to live. They're the information your body gives you about what feels right and what doesn't. They're how you honor yourself while still connecting authentically with others. Boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about creating the space where you can be fully yourself. Without boundaries, you're living in reaction mode. Someone asks for your time, you give it, even when you don't have it. Someone expects you to behave a certain way. You do it even when it feels wrong. Someone criticizes your choices. You change them even when you know your truth counts. This creates what I call the nice girl syndrome. You erase yourself. You're so busy being nice, being agreeable, being what everyone else needs that you're minimized to in turn in your own life and completely lose touch with who you need and are. And here's the information your exhaustion is giving you. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't inspire others if you abandon yourself. You can't create your ideal life if you're living everybody else's version of what your life should be. When you have no boundaries, you pay a price. And it's not just feeling tired. You lose your authentic voice. You start making decisions based on what won't upset people rather than what's right for you. You say, I don't know, when someone asks you what you want because you generally don't know anymore. You lose your energy. You feel drained after spending time with certain people. You need recovery time from your own life. Your body feels heavy because you're carrying everybody else's expectations. You lose your freedom. You're trapped in a life you didn't consciously choose. You're buying into somebody else's needs instead of embracing your own. And the worst part? People don't even respect you for it. Because when you don't respect your own boundaries, why would anyone else? Your body is constantly giving you information about where your boundaries are broken. But most of us have been taught to ignore these signals. Here's what we pay attention to. Resentment. When you feel resentful after helping someone or saying yes to something, that's information. Your body is telling you that you violated your own boundary. Exhaustion. Not just tired from activity, but drained from interactions. That's your system saying this person takes more than they give, and we have no boundary protecting our energy. Guilt, when you feel guilty for saying no or for doing something for yourself, that's borrowed information. Someone taught you that your needs don't matter as much as theirs. Anxiety, that knot in your stomach, when you see certain names on your phone, that's your body screaming that this relationship lacks healthy boundaries. Let me show you what broken boundaries actually look like in real life. Time boundaries. You say yes to commitments you don't have time for. You let people interrupt your focused work. You're available 24/7 because you think that makes you a good friend, partner, and employee. Emotional boundaries. You absorb other people's emotions as if they're yours. You feel responsible for making everyone happy. You can't separate their problems from your peace. Physical boundaries. You let people touch you when you don't want to be touched. You don't speak up when somebody stands too close. You ignore your body's signals because being polite is more important. Mental boundaries. You let people tell you what to think, what to believe, what to value. You don't defend your opinions because avoiding conflict feels safer than having your own voice. Material boundaries. You give money you can't afford to give. You lend things you don't want to lend. You let people take advantage of your generosity because saying no feels. Right now, I want you to ask yourself these questions. Be honest. This is just information, not judgment. When in your life do you say yes when you mean no? Who drains your energy consistently without giving back? What commitments did you make that you wish you hadn't? When was the last time you prioritized your needs over somebody else's wants? If you could set one boundary tomorrow without any guilt or fear, what would it be? Your answer is the real you speaking. It's showing you exactly where you need to create stronger boundaries to master your life and create the freedom you need. Creating healthy boundaries starts with reframing your mindset. You need to understand that boundaries aren't selfish, they are self-respect. When you set a boundary, you're not rejecting the other person. You're honoring yourself. You're saying my need matters too. My energy is valuable. My time is precious. My peace is not negotiable. This is what always choose you really means. Not that you ignore everyone else, but that you include yourself in that equation. You stop abandoning yourself to keep others comfortable. Here's how to actually create boundaries that works. Step 1, get clear on what you need. What does your unique blueprint require? What do you need to feel energized, not drained? What conditions allow you to shine? Don't ask what's reasonable or what others will accept. Ask what you need. 2, communicate directly. Use simple, clear language. I need to leave by 8 p.m. I'm not available in weeks. I don't discuss my personal choices. No long explanations, no apologies, just clear information about your boundaries. 3, hold the boundary. This is where most people fail. They set a boundary, then immediately break it when someone pushes back. Your boundary only works if you enforce it. If you say no and then give in, you've taught people that your no doesn't really matter. 4, handle the discomfort. People who benefited from your lack of boundaries will not be happy when you create them. They'll call you selfish. They'll guilt trip you. They'll test the boundary to see if you're serious. This is normal. It's not information that you're wrong. It's information that your boundary is actually working. Let me give you an exact language you can use. For time boundaries, I have plans, even if your plan is to rest. That doesn't work for my schedule. I'm not available then. For emotional boundaries, I care about you, but I can't carry this for you. I need to step back from this conversation. That's your feeling, not mine. For unsolicited advice, I'm not looking for advice right now. I've got this. I handle it. I will figure it out. For guilt trips, I understand you're disappointed and my answer is not yours. Your emergency doesn't become mine. It's not my responsibility. For boundary pushback, I've been clear about my boundary. I need you to respect it. This conversation is over. If you can't respect my no, we need to take a break. Notice something. These are short, direct, and don't apologize. You're not being mean. You're being clear. That's what healthy boundaries all about. Sound true to yourself. Here's what happens when you dare to create healthy boundaries. You get your energy back. You're no longer drained by relationships that take without giving. You have capacity for the things and people that actually matter. You find your authentic voice when you stop saying what people want to hear. You discover what you actually think. Your unique blueprint becomes clear. You attract better relationship. People who respect boundaries are people worth having in your life. The ones who can't handle your boundaries weren't supporting your growth anyway. You create the freedom you've been craving. Freedom isn't just about having no obligations. It's about choosing your obligations consciously. It's about mastering your life instead of reacting to everybody else's demands. This is where curiosity comes in. I want to get curious about what would be possible if you dare to set boundaries without guilt. What if you said no to commitments that don't align with your goals? What if you only spend time with people who energize you? What if you stopped explaining or defending your choices? What if you let people be disappointed without making it your problem? What if you choose yourself as often as you choose others? This isn't theoretical. This is how you execute on creating your ideal life. Boundaries aren't optional if you want to shine. They're the foundation. So here's my challenge to you. Choose one boundary to set this week. Just one. Make it non-negotiable. Maybe it's leaving work on time. Maybe it's not responding to text after 9 p.m. Maybe it's telling someone you're not available to solve their drama anymore. Start small if you need to, but start. Because every boundary you set is choosing you above anyone else's unique blueprint and someone else's expectations. Every boundary is you daring to master your life. Every boundary is you creating the freedom you deserve. Your worth isn't up to negotiation. Always choose. If this message resonates with you and you want more tools for creating boundaries that actually works, join my newsletter and see. I share weekly insights on mastering your mindset and creating the life you actually want to live. Link is in the description. And if you're ready for personalized support in setting boundaries and finding your authentic voice, then you can book a call, a breakthrough call that might change your life here and now. So remember, boundaries aren't walls. They're your blueprint for how you want to live. Dare to honor them. And always choose you. And I'll see you next week.